Welcome back. So let's get to our dailies today on the program. And we're being joined in the program by a public affairs analyst, Mr. Adeni joins us virtually from the United Kingdom. Mr. Fetaya, thank you so much for coming on the program. Oh dear. Well, as soon as I thought we will be having Mr. Fetaya, but as soon as we have him on the program, we will bring him in to comment on some of the things. Well, let's get to it. This Nigeria is where we'll get started from. Benue Bloodbath. Benue Bloodbath. Tinubu condoles to visit states tomorrow. Tinubu condoles to visit states tomorrow. That's coming from This Nigeria. The writer has it that self-defense not ruled out. Ex-President Mark warns. Self-defense not ruled out. Former Senate President warns. That's David Mark. So you can see, as expected, some of the dailies will be carrying this as a priority story. It's a bloodbath. It's a carnage. It's a massacre in that sense. If you look at the history of what has been playing out in Benue, Benue is actually supposed to be everybody's priority. Well, as we've commented initially, the president has decided that he will be heading out to Benue tomorrow. Some of us thought he should have been heading out a long time ago, but never late than never. Better late than never. So, but the Senate President, former Senate President, saying, at the rates at which these killings are going on, if people resort to self-help, perhaps they should not be blamed. And it's difficult to argue, although we will not encourage any form of anarchy, that it's difficult to just have people in their sleep, innocent, poor, harmless farmers and people, whatever it is they are doing in those local communities, whether in Yewata or in other places in Benue State or even Plateau, being killed by these mindless cowards who parade themselves or whatever the name they call themselves and all of that. We know there are layers to this crisis, but at the end of the day, let's be brutally honest with ourselves. Something has to be done. It has to be done as urgent as yesterday. So the president will be visiting Benue tomorrow. All eyes will be on him. What is going to be in terms of his remarks? The people of Benue are disagreeing vehemently with the president to tell him, the analytics of the problem is wrong. There is no communal clash anywhere. There is no reprisal anywhere because we didn't have any conflict. This is unprovoked. There may have been skirmishes, but the way you're escalating this to be a problem of communal clash, it's a lie. Mr. President, listen to the people. Do not listen to politicians. And because I was just thinking, in addition to the president's visit, please, I want to beg. This is not the time for campaign materials tomorrow in Benue. With the greatest respect to party members, please, tomorrow is not the time to do on your mandate we shall stand in Benue State on Makurdi. Tomorrow is not that day. So please, no politician, no party member should go and be playing sycophants tomorrow. The president is going to Benue on a solemn visit because perhaps he's sick and tired of these killings. He said enough is enough. It's not time to go and tell President, we will vote for you in 2027. Keep that conversation out of tomorrow's conversation. Tomorrow is about solving the problem of Benue people so that people they'll stop being killed. So on your mandate, we should not hear it. Party materials flying around for his campaign, we don't want to hear it. Let the man do his job, solve our problem, the reason why we voted for him. That is priority right now.
Well, beyond the politics of it all is the lives in Benue State. What happens to ties? Undoubtedly, they need some form of psychosocial support. But how does one continue to live in those communities in Benue State with the knowledge that there's no security? I believe yesterday our guest was talking about when you move further into the hinterland, there are no police stations. That's part of the conversation. That's what, if they're not saying it, before the cameras, that's what they should be talking about behind the cameras. I believe all concerned, the security chiefs, the Inspector General of Police, the zonal inspectors, the police commissioners, and indeed the relevant legislators in the affected states, be it North Central and Northeast. That's what they should be talking about, the inadequate manpower to tackle insecurity. But let's go to The Guardian, which is our next paper this morning. And The Guardian also trails on the big security concern in Benue State. Listen to this. CDS links military saboteurs to Benue massacre ahead of Tinubu's visit. You'll find that story on page 6. And you see the dramatis personae as far as security is concerned. Their pictures put out on the front page of Benue, the Guardian newspaper, I beg your pardon. You see Mr. President there, the governor of Benue, Reverend Father Hyacinth Alia, the NSA, the CDS, and of course the Inspector General of Police. And if you followed our conversation yesterday on the program, you would have heard the governor doubling down on the suggestion that indeed some of those recruits, or if you like, participators in the mayhem that is being unleashed on Benue are being sponsored by politicians. A commentary from him in the past week, you know, that drew the ire of representatives of Benue State at the National Assembly. But indeed, the governor doubled down on it yesterday. But it also shows that the actors, those responsible, you know, for governance, either at the legislative or the executive level, and not particularly on the same page as far as the cause of this conflict is concerned. There is no agreement. Indeed, if you even watched our conversation on our sister political program, Politics Today, yesterday, the lawmaker was insisting that there is no militia in Benue State, that indeed the militia had been taken care of under the former administration, you know, that was responsible, you know, for reining in on the leader of the militant. His name escapes me now at the time. So there is no agreement on the cause of this, you know, insurgency, this banditry that is responsible for the bloodletting in Benue State. And I believe, you know, that is what should be ongoing behind the scenes now. There should be continued investigations about what exactly is responsible, who are the sponsors, why do we have this concern of bandits who are coming into the country through our borders daily, on a daily basis. They say they use motorcycle and they perpetrate their heinous crimes through the use of motorcycles. We cannot talk enough about this, but that's it from the front page of the Guardian newspaper. CDS linking military saboteurs to Benue massacre. There must be investigations as to, you know, how this is even possible in the first place. What do they stand to gain? Who are the sponsors of this military saboteurs? Jeffrey.
Fantastic. Let's bring in our guest, our analyst, Mr. Fetayo. Mr. Fetayo, thank you so much for coming on the program. We have been talking about Benue, and literally everywhere is littered with the story of Benue. So let's have your take before we get to the next dailies. I'm sure you've been listening out. The president will be visiting tomorrow. Mr. Fetayo, up to you.
Yeah, first and foremost, I want to sympathize with the people of Yawata and the people of Benue State. And secondly, I want to say that we can't continue to do the same thing and expect different results. You know, in as much as CDS was saying that there are saboteurs in the military, please name them. You know, if you have such intelligence, name them. It has become too many killings in some of these rural community areas. I think about there are so many factors that is making the war against this insecurity work perfectly. You know, we talk about local government autonomy. Let them manage their resources. Some of these insecurity that we are facing is happening in rural area. A governor can prioritize to do 20 kilometers road, while what a local government needs is just to keep their people safe and sound. And also, this is high time that we allow state police. This is high time we allow local to be involved. This is high time we allow the traditional institution to get more involved. Another thing is that I'm sure you and I, we've heard so many times, they will say repentant Boko Haram, rehabilitation of Boko Haram or whatever banditry it is. We have never heard when they will come and say that in the last 6 months, about 1,000 bandit or Boko Haram or whatever it is have been arrested. Maybe 500 have been prosecuted and sentenced to death. Where there's no law, there's no crime. If you allow people to get away free with the crime or whatever thing they have committed, it won't serve as a deterrent. People will feel that even if they reorientate them, nothing has happened. So this is high time we should take the bull by the moon. And this is high time government should do more. If you need more personnel, please do that. It's not when this thing happened that we begin to say, what should we do? And of course, like CDS said, that some of these things are being politicized. Security is not a matter of whether you are in that party or in this party. It's responsibility of all. Let them involve more some of our traditional in the local community area, and I think this thing can be, overcome.
First, I couldn't agree less with you. Right now, whatever is needed, whoever is needed, and whatever material is required to be able to bring some peace and restore order so that people are not killed every other day, I think is totally acceptable. Let's go to New Telegraph, literally leading with the same thing. I'm going to New Telegraph because of the riders we have here. New Telegraph is leading with killings. Tinubu postpones Kaduna trip to visit Benue tomorrow. Tinubu postpones Kaduna trip to visit Benue tomorrow. Says state police now national imperative. Some of the riders there has it that defense chief, IGP visit Benue, CDS vows to end banditry in Nigeria. People may be forced to defend themselves. That's according to David Mack, National Youth Council of Nigeria as well. Akume, Obi, PDP, ACF, CAN, GNI, others condemn massacre, call for urgent action. So you can see, Mr. Adeni, everybody's speaking out. This is one point where everybody's on the same page, even though I feel that we are not on the same page as to why these killings, who is responsible, and diagnosing the problem properly. What do you have to say, sir?
Yeah. I will pick from the point of people may be forced to defend themselves. I remember maybe about 6 months or 7 months ago, somebody was trying to sponsor a bill at the National Assembly. I think Senator Nedunwoko, that people should be given license, to own gun to defend themselves. I think if you have a critical security situation, although he laid down the processes before you could be licensed to have a gun, because if let's even ask, how many police force do we have? Are they enough to protect life and property? How many military personnel do we have? What is the response time? That if there's a crime here, if we make a call, can they get to this place? I remember there was a situation in Lagos State where I think maybe the number is 122. If there are situations, crime has gradually reduced in Lagos. I think they can do that across board in every state in Nigeria, especially in Benue and where they are facing security challenges. That what is the response time when we make a call, when we raise an alarm, that the police can get in there? Is it by air or by road, whatever means? Will there be some station? We know that when it comes to election, we do have a polling unit, we do have a ward unit, we do have local government unit. If they can do same when it comes to security, that you can't walk from here in the next, maybe walk for like 5 minutes, you will definitely see a police post, or walk for like 10 minutes, you will see a police unit or security unit. That can gradually reduce crime, and that will also help people to feel safe and secure. And above all, because just like you said, everybody coming together, this issue of security is not because you're in this party, in that party, because if it can happen to your neighbor, that means it can happen to you. Let's just all come together and put this thing behind us.
Mr. Adeni Fetayo, thank you so much. As always, we'll continue to look at what concerns Nigerians the most, and we'll always bring you to help us break it down. Mr. Adeni Fetayo joins us from London, United Kingdom, to break it down for us right here on the program. Thank you, sir, for coming on the program.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here.